A few weeks ago, I had an awakening while doing the South Park project for this class. That awakening was that I am an idiot. I really thought Hawaii was just a place that we just happened to have in America. Like, people would just go there to, like, pet a turtle and eat a coconut. But that is incredibly wrong. Hawaii has a history. So I thought I'd tell, like, a little brief history of why Hawaii is the way it is today. And not how it should be, because we colonized it. Go America, USA, hot dog, baseball. Best case scenario, you get something out of this, and I'm not alone in being an idiot. I'm sorry I called you an idiot, but... Part 1, precolonization. This is Hawaii. More specifically, this is Hawaii in 400 CE, or somewhere around that time. There is no exact date, but it's Hawaii. So around this time, people were boating around. They were looking for different lands and checking out Polynesia. By the way, Polynesia. I had no idea what Polynesia was. I thought Polynesia was like close by because Chick-fil-A has a sauce called Polynesian sauce. Polynesia means just a ton of islands. It's this area, the Polynesian Triangle. And it's not even a Polynesian Triangle because it's more like a Polynesian like fish head from that episode of SpongeBob. Anyways, speaking of boating, people were really good at making canoes and checking out the different islands. And they were like, look at this landmass, let's go here. I love their religion. It is so cool. I love all of the gods and like the heroes that are in there. There's a god for the ocean. There's a god for like the air. There's a god that's just a squid. And then, there's also a god of hula. Hula dancing is what actually kept the culture alive for so many years. And because there's no written language, or at least there wasn't, they'd go and do an Ollie chant with that, which would retell like the specifics of Hawaiian history. And thank God we have that, so we know what's up. Otherwise, everything would be lost forever, because things got a little weird. Part 2. The part where the bad stuff happens. I don't know what to tell you. So there's this guy named Captain James Cook. He is from Britain. He's a British explorer. So James Cook in 1778, he finds Hawaii with a ton of his boys in the ship. They also traded disease, which is not cool of them either. It really did start the slow genocide of the native Hawaiians, so that's really depressing. So about a year later, I think this is kind of funny, James Cook comes back because he has a little ship malfunction. One of the native islanders goes and steals one of their small like canoes or something. And James Cook has like the natural response of saying, you know what? Someone stole a boat. I'm gonna go kill their leader. As one does. In an attempt to kidnap their leader, they all just killed James Cook, which I think is great. Hawaii was recognized as a sovereign nation that could just operate on its own. It's cool, but everyone's got their eyes on it now all of a sudden. Decades later, America starts to like become a country and is like, there's free real estate over there. A ton of Christian missionaries make their way to the island and being like, y'all heard of this guy named Jesus? And then all those missionaries had babies, and then the babies grew legs and brains, and we just started the obsession with sugar, planting a lot of sugar cane in Hawaii. Eventually we end up in 1893 where all of these Americans are just chilling out in Hawaii, and they're like, we're such an overwhelming population of Americans. What if we went ahead and overthrew Hawaii? Because we can. They really even couldn't. It's illegal to overthrow a sovereign nation. The United States was like, what if we did anyways? And they did, with this dude, Sanford Dole. And this dude, Sanford Dole, became the new ruler of Hawaii while it became U.S. territory. Not a state yet, but U.S. territory. And his cousin, James Dole, the Pineapple King, was also there, just frolicking in the pineapples that he put there himself. But yeah, from there on, things did not go so smoothly. I'll talk about that more in the next part. Part 3, post-overthrow. So 3 years after they overthrow Hawaii, the United States goes, you know what would be kind of funny? If we just banned Hawaiian language. Like, so they're banning people from expressing their culture in like any shape, way, or form, and they get kids in trouble for speaking Hawaiian language at their school, and they're just silencing the past, which is, you know, what America does best. This made me realize how important Gloria Bird's article was on writing as a witness, because there are moments like these where there is every force against the people to just silence what they're going through. And it's so important to capture that culture, that feeling. And especially in Hawaii, where such a good portion of culture is passed down through dance and like singing and just oral tradition in general. So you know that so much has been lost, and it's heartbreaking, it really is. So, Hawaii's been absorbed into the greatest superpower in the world, the United States, and now they just have to deal with that. Like, how does one comprehend that? Most notably, Hawaii has really gotten the short end of the stick here. In World War II, the bombing of Pearl Harbor happened, which is just not fair, simply put. America's like, oh my god, sorry about that. Oh my god. How about we like make you a state to make things feel a little bit better? Like, okay, maybe. Like, okay, I see somewhat. What do? They set up some internment camps, some Japanese internment camps. 40% of Hawaii's population was Japanese and had Japanese descent. You can't just do that. Oh, but don't worry. Like they apologized. America was like, oh, so sorry. Again, when Bill Clinton comes in, he's just like, oh, so sorry. It's a little late, but anyways, let's move on to the conclusion and figure out what's going on. So in conclusion, Hawaii is so much more than a place to pet a shark and eat a pineapple. So anyways, we know Hawaii today as a big tourist place, and that is painfully evident, because that's all I knew it to be. There are little bits of hints of renaissance of culture being celebrated in Hawaii, as you can see by different festivals and like luau's and stuff. And like children have the option to take a completely immersed course in the Hawaiian language. So that's really interesting. So yeah, I hope this whole video, whatever this is, clarified a few things about Hawaii, because I know I clearly did not know too much about it before I did a little deep dive, and I wanted to just get that basic understanding out there, which is so important. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Okay, that's all I have to say. Bye!